So we're looking at today at whether or not a relation is a function, and it's going to be a function if every x has only one y value. And I might give you guys a table to look at, or a mapping, or an actual picture of a graph. So for these two tables, one of these is a function, and one of them is not. So one of them has every x only has one y, and for the other one, there's an x that has two different y's. So if you think about it and you look at these guys and compare them, you might notice that this guy has two different x's. I mean, the same x, one is the same thing twice, but they go to different values. Therefore, this would not be considered a function. This guy, however, totally is a function. And even though there's a y value that's the same, that doesn't matter. Every single x has only one y. With the mappings down here, it's the same thing. One of these is going to be a function, and one of these is not a function. So one of these, every x has a specific y, and for the other one, it doesn't. There's an x that has more than one y. If you look it over, you might be like, I hope it's kind of clear that this one would not be a function, because this x value has two different y values associated with it. It's no good. This is totally a function because every x goes to just one y. And again, the fact that they both go to the same y doesn't matter. Every x, if you tell me an x value, I know what to tell you the answer is. Over here, if you tell me x is -5, I don't know if I should tell you -8 or -2, so it's not a function. When you have an actual picture of a graph, it's a little bit tougher, but keep in mind, like, for every point on the graph, there's like that point is an x value and a y value. So like, for example, this point over here, if x is -4, y is 0. So we have that kind of like a pairing. If x is maybe 0, y is like -1.5. But on a function like this, if you tell me x is 1, if I look at this function, and you tell me x is 1, I don't know what y is. Maybe it's a little bit less than 2. Maybe it's a little bit more than 2. Maybe it's a little bit less than, -1. So, or like you tell me x is 2, do I give you this y value? Do I give you that y value? Do I give you that y value? I don't know. So the quick test we often use is called the vertical line test. And the idea is you kind of pretend like you got laser vision. That's what I do anyway. And I like imagine a vertical line shooting out of my forehead. Yeah, it sounds weird, but it's what I do. And I imagine this line kind of scanning across the graph. And if that line ever hits more than one point, it's not a function. So like, for example, if I were to scan the line I just drew across, when I got to over here, it'd be hitting 1, 2, 3 points. That means this guy is not a function at all. If I take a vertical line across this graph, and I scan it across the graph, at no time is it ever going to hit more than one point. So, because it never hits more than one point, I know this one's the function. So I hope that makes some sense. And if it doesn't, check out the video on the sort of vending machine example. I think it's a good way to think about these things.